and a restaurant. I promise you, sir, that by the time you come for the retreat, it will be ready. You will be able to see it in its readiness. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Thomas Sankara Accommodation Hall was, as I said, developed by NALI using force account mechanism, local labor, and locally raised resources. It is completely budget neutral, did not utilize any resources from the government budget, and used donations, even from yourself, sir, and some other imaginative ways of raising, without being a criminal, without being illegal. The Herbert Staple Hall, the Agostino Neto Hall, the Patrice Lumumba Hall, and the Amika Cabra accommodation halls, as well as the admin academic block before you, were constructed using an allocation of about 7.9 billion shillings. The construction has been executed by using, again, the force account mechanism, utilizing direct labor provided from the construction capacity of the UPDF, that is the Engineers Brigade. And using direct methods of purchasing materials. We have found this, Your Excellency, extremely cheap because we eliminate certain issues of middlemen and issues of commission. And what nowadays there's a new word called tenderpreneurship. Entrepreneurs who thrive on tenders. The project was supervised by a contracts management team and a project implementation committee under the overall supervision of the Minister for the Presidency, chairing a project management team. The NALI project was overseen by a construction engineer who was supervised by a construction committee chaired by the director and comprised of the deputy director, admin, FO, PC, IO, and RSM. The total cost of this project was approximately 507 million. It will be, if you include the soft furnishing and other things. Here, sir, I would request to give you a special tribute for the significant contribution which you made, and also to others like Honorable Tumsime, the MP from Mbarara, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, and other members of Parliament who came here, and when they taught, they saw what we were doing, and really they felt, I think, the Spirit of God came upon them, and they made donations, very significant donations to this building. Thank you, sir. We are eternally grateful to you and the other patriots for the assistance that you have given. May God bless you abundantly and increase your abundance. And the staff of NALI, the people I work with and lead, for their patience and support. Because without patience, Mwalimu Nyerere, Your Excellency, said that if you are a leader, ochiwa chiongozi na ochiwa natembea na huna wafasi, maana yako na zurura tu, you are just walking around. You are not leading. Because if you don't have a follower, you are just walking around. So, I thank you for being behind us and for being behind all our initiatives. The Masons, the civilians who helped us, and all other, we pledge using the facility to enhance the ideological training for God and my country. Your Excellency, it's now my singular honor and great pleasure to invite the Honorable Minister to come and give him remarks and invite you. Thank you very much, sir.
Your Excellency, sir, allow me to convey my gratitude to you for accepting to come and commission this newly constructed infrastructure project at NALI amidst your busy schedule. Your Excellency, following your intervention to solve the challenge of modern accommodation at NALI, Parliament of Uganda, together with the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, allocated 7.9 billion shillings during the financial year 2019-2020 and 2020-2021 for the construction of the infrastructure facilities in NALI. I wish to commend the UPDF Engineers Brigade, the Secretary Office of the President, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, and the Chair, the Project Steering Committee, and his members upon their tireless efforts to ensure that the construction works at NALI were completed within the costs and the quality constraints. I request, sir, that UPDF Engineers Brigade be assigned more contracts and allow them to execute the work without any interference. Your Excellency, I'm happy to report that all the newly constructed structures at NALI have been commissioned today, and that is the dormitories, the 4 dormitories, Brigadier Castro has given the details, the administrative complex, which comprises of the 6 offices, the boardroom and the central lecture room, the auditorium, the computer lab, the library, and the syndicate rooms. Sir, Brigadier Castro has proposed the names, but I request that you further guide on the naming of the new structures. Your Excellency, needless to say, your own contribution, together with some members of Parliament, have added a newly facility named Thomas Sankara to accommodate 38 persons. Your Excellency, this activity is one of the events preceding your swearing-in ceremony scheduled on the 12th of May 2021. To this effect, I have prepared and submitted a brief, or rather proposal, on this matter for your further guidance. At the earliest time possible, I'll request your audience because it has a financial implication. Your Excellency, I'm an accountant by training and an administrator by profession. And during my training as an accountant, I would always be told to render accountability. It is on this note, sir, that I render accountability to Your Excellency for all the departments and agencies under Presidents for the 5 years 2016-2021. 1. The Uganda Security Printing Corporation, USPC. With Your Excellency's guidance, the Presidency successfully coordinated the operationalization of the joint venture agreement between the government of Uganda and the consortium of Veridos, that is a German company, which was signed on the 4th of October 2017. Since then, sir, the joint venture, through its special purpose vehicle, the Uganda Security Printing Company Limited, named as USPC, has achieved the following: implementation and management of Uganda driver's license. This is in respect to the contract signed between the Ministry of Works and Transport and the Uganda Security Printing Company Limited. The project is valued at 465 billion shillings, 258,926,500 for 14 years, with a tax contribution of 70,971,700,653. This project is anticipated to contribute 24,130,378,222 to government of Uganda in form of profits. Currently, the driving license services are being delivered through 7 regional offices, that is Kampala, Gulu, Arua, Mbale, Jinja, Mbarara, and Fort Portal. Plans are underway to extend the services to other towns and cities, that is, Moroto, Lira, Hoima, Masaka, and Kabale. Through this project, sir, USPC has been able to equip security printing and handling skills to 100 staff. This has improved on the turnaround time for the permit application to 30 minutes. Implementation of the e-passport and delivery to the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control. Your Excellence, the first phase of this project is almost complete. In this phase, USPC has been able to develop and deploy an e-passport system to the DCIC site. An interim structure was completed and renovation of the 2 regional offices, that is Mbale and Gulu, is underway. USPC, with the support from the technical partners, has continued to impact and equip relevant skills to the immigration staff, hence capacitating them to meet the stakeholders' expectations. The USPC team is working in the leadership of DCIC to embark on the next phase of the implementation that involves rolling out of the e-passport system to 7 embassies, that is Pretoria, Beijing, Abu Dhabi, Ottawa, Copenhagen, Washington, and London, and the construction of the personalization building. Commencement of the construction of the factory. Your Excellence, the major focus of the joint voucher agreement is on factory construction. To this effect, I'm glad to inform you that the architectural and structural drawing of the factory has been concluded and approved by the USP's Board of Directors. The drawings have now been forwarded to the respective authorities to seek for their clearance as we also embark on the procurement process for the contractor. A. Finalization of financing arrangement. Your Excellence, the joint venture agreement provides that the financing of USPC is to be done through equity contribution and loan from either financial institutions or stakeholders. To this effect, the leadership of USPC concluded the negotiations with the Stanbic Bank Uganda to provide a facility amounting to 10 million euros for supporting the setting up of the factory. On this note, Your Excellence, we are glad to inform you that both the Solicitor General and the Permanent Secretary to Treasury, Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development have cleared the Stanbic Bank facility. The Uganda Printing and Publishing Corporation. Your Excellence, this is 100% Government of Uganda shareholding. And in the Uganda Security Printing Company, the government holds 51%, and then the German company holds 49% shares. In the same vein, sir, USPC has been able to perform its best. And this is because there is what I called overhaul of the board of UPPC and the management. You remember we had issues some time back and we were not realizing anything. Right now, I put in place, with your guidance, a new board and a new management, and the following is what is being realized. 1, an increase in average revenue. The corporation has been able to improve on its financial performance by recovering from a loss of 1,403,798,565 to a profit of 1,31,271,337. The improvement in this financial performance is attributed to the body's business acumen, the corporation has been able to regain confidence from the potential clients and hence improving the financial position. 2, there has been a reduction in tax burden from 8 billion to 1.2 billion Uganda shillings in the financial year 2016-2021 through robust strategic efforts such as appointment of external debt collectors undertaken through engagement with URA to come up with a payment schedule. This has been also supplemented by the stringent compliance measures put in place by the board of directors. C, purchase of machinery. Your Excellence, the budget for the financial year 2020-2021 fronted the need to procure a heavy-duty commercial digital printing machine and a 5-color offset printing machine. Both machines were estimated to cost 7.5 billion shillings. A total cumulatively by end of March this year, by end of this month, a total of 4,214,900,000 will be saved from retained earnings to finance the purchase of a heavy-duty commercial digital printing machine and a 5-color offset printing machine. 3, Office of the President, vote 001. Office of the President, sir, procured transport equipment for field officers. In the financial year 2016-2017 to 2020-2021, we retooled office field officers as follows. We procured and distributed 148 double cabins to the RDCs and deputy RDCs to replace in a phased manner the old fleet so as to enable these officers execute their constitutional mandate of monitoring government programs as well as chairing and coordinating security meetings in their respective districts. We also procured and distributed 1,204 motorcycles to the GISOs, leaving a shortfall of 900 motorcycles. B, constructed 5 offices for RDCs in the districts of Ajuman, Bundibujo, Butambala, Luuka, Nakapiripirit, and renovated 3 offices in Amur, Mwende, and Lira. C, developed the Apex Policy Accountability Platform. Your Excellence may recall that on the 5th of December 2018, under Minute 214 CT 2018, Cabinet approved reforms aimed at strengthening policy project preparations, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation for sustainable results. The end results of this work was the creation of an Apex platform which seeks to learn what interventions have worked and what have not worked and why. Encourage the uptake of best practices underlying positive impact on communities. Taking action based on facts, evidence to guide successor interventions for improved service delivery. Strengthen accountability for results, given that the Apex platform has been identified as one of the key interventions under NDP 3 to strengthen reporting for results. Your Excellence, we have prepared and sent a brief to you providing the details about this reform. However, Minister of Finance has not availed funding for the takeoff of the platform. D, actualization of the proposed government campus at Webaje. Your Excellence, in 2017, Cabinet approved policy proposals for the construction of a government campus to accommodate all MDAs currently in rented office premises. NSSF has finalized the acquisition of land from the vendor. On our side, we have finalized the procurement process for the project management consultant to advise government on the project during the designing and the construction stages of the campus. Whereas the Solicitor General has cleared the contract, we are unable to sign because finance has not provided the funds to enter contract with the government of Uganda project management consultant. On the other hand, NSSF has also procured a consultant to develop preliminary conceptual designs to form the blueprint for the campus. The process to develop the preliminary design is to be finalized in 6 months, that is in October 2021, and therefore NSSF will procure a contractor to start construction work of the campus in June 2022. Monitored manifesto commitments. Your Excellence, by virtue of the mandate bestowed on the Manifesto Implementation Unit, we were able to monitor and report on the countrywide implementation status of the NALI Manifesto 2016-2021 as an innovation way to promote visibility of the achievements registered towards meeting manifesto commitment. The Presidency has now put in place an annual manifesto week in which all MDAs are allocated a slot to popularize their achievements measured against the manifesto commitments. But due to the stakeholders' demand, the annual manifesto week has been now extended 2 weeks, starting with the year 2020. We trained and inculcated the value of patriotism to 447,160 students countrywide. The Office of the President, through the National Secretariat for Patriotism Club, so far supports 2,500 patriotism clubs which have been established in secondary schools countrywide. However, sir, you pledged 1 billion shillings in their circle, of which they request that you honor so as to further enhance their operations. State House, that is 4002, I beg your pardon. Skilling young people in Kampala. Your Excellency, in support of the already existing intervention, you set up a presidential initiative of skilling the youth in Kampala in financial year 2018-2019 in production among the youth in urban areas. The initiative started with 7 centers of girls, that is in Wandegeya, Duzira, Chigowa, Mutundwe, Sabwe, Katanga, and Nakulabye, and has expanded to include 2 centers for the boys in Wabigalo and Chinoni. The girls are skilled in tailoring, knitting, weaving, shoemaking, hairdressing, embroidery, baking, and confectionery, while the boys are skilled in shoemaking, motor vehicle repairs, carpentry, plumbing, electricals, and electronics. To date, sir, over 12,000 girls and then 1,500 boys and 3,000 women have benefited from this program, not for getting the startup capital given to them after training. Needless to mention, very many youth have been facilitated in various capacities through this presidential initiative. I want to thank you, sir, for your tireless effort to this cause. Thank you, Your Excellency. Uganda AIDS Commission. Your Excellency, I want to thank you for renewing contracts for the Board of Uganda AIDS Commission as well as the Director General. This has been involved in coordinating the national response in the fight against the spread of HIV/AIDS in the country, and accordingly, the following are the key achievements under the Commission. A. coordinated the national response in the fight against the spread of HIV/AIDS in the country. Currently, the overall HIV prevalence rate has reduced from 6.2% to 5.8%. The annual new infections has also reduced from 62,000 to 53,000, while the annual AIDS-related deaths has reduced from 25,000 in 2017 to 21,000 in 2019. The number of people living with HIV enrolled on the antiretroviral therapy have also increased from 970,000 to 1,222,000. Uganda achieved the UNAIDS 90-90-90 targets set by UN General Assembly in 2016. Your Excellency, as a firm commitment to lead the nation, Uganda HIV/AIDS efforts, on June 6, 2017, you launched the Presidential Fast Track Initiative to Ending HIV/AIDS by 2030. The Uganda AIDS Commission was mandated to coordinate the implementation of the Presidential Fast Track Initiative, and currently, Uganda AIDS Commission, in collaboration with partners, successfully rolled out the initiative to all the regions in the country, which included West Nile, which was done in Ajuman, Mid-North in Kole, Northeast in Kotido, Midwest in Hoima, Western in Isinjiro. This you attended, sir, and you officiated. Midwest in Namaingo, East in Manafa, and Central in Kalungu. Uganda AIDS Commission has also initiated and launched the private sector-led $1 initiative and the HIV mainstreaming of the 0.1% of their budgets as a contribution to from all MDAs and local governments towards funding HIV/AIDS programs at a vote level. The board also approved levying of fees on all AIDS services organizations as part of the Uganda AIDS Commission regulations. All these, once fully rolled out, will increase domestic response and contribute towards the sustainability of the national HIV response. An assessment of 146 votes, that is government entities from 19 sectors, to track progress revealed that 136, that is 93% entities, had evidence of allocating at least 0.1% of their budgets to HIV/AIDS mainstreaming activities. Thus, a total of 38.9 billion shillings was allocated to HIV/AIDS activities in the last financial year, 2019-2020. The Uganda AIDS Commission, being the funding recipient and custodian of the Uganda Country Coordinating Mechanism for the Global Fund, has been able to mobilize over $1 billion for the period 2017 to 2023 for investing in life-saving interventions against HIV, TB, and malaria. Through direct intervention, Your Excellency provided recording of HIV prevention messages used for public service announcements. Following on this lead, USC adopted an aggressive media engagement strategy to ensure wide dissemination of HIV prevention messages to the public in partnership with the Ministry of Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance. Through the various multimedia platforms, millions of individuals in communities and households have been reached with HIV prevention messages, positively impacting on their behavior. 6, the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity. Your Excellency, on the front to address the moral fabric of our people, the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity disseminated the national ethical values through sensitization of secondary school students. Approximately 800,000 students were sensitized in several school outreach programs in the districts of Luero, Mbale, Tororo, Kabarore, Mbarara, Rukunjiri, Jinja, Mukono, Mpiji, Masaka, Iganga, and Kampala metropolitan area. As a result of these sensitization programs, free counseling services were given to students who had been addicted to watching pornography, masturbation, alcoholism, and drug abuse. B. Establishment of district integrity promotion forums. This aims at bringing accountability centers closer to the people at the local government levels. The forum brings together political leaders of the district heads of department, and the CSOs to monitor execution of government programs and to discuss accountability and leadership challenges in the districts. The forum is chaired by the RDC. 2,000 government projects in the Rwenzori region were monitored from 2016 to 2021, where poor workmanship were evidenced. The contractors had to rectify them. We have so far established 89 district integrity promotion forum in the country. The Leadership Code Act 2002 was amended to put into effect Article 233 of the Constitution by providing a minimum standard of behavior and code of conduct for leaders. This act was amended by the Leadership Code Amendment Act 2017. The amendment was developed by the anti-corruption agencies under the leadership of the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity. The objective of the amendment was to establish the Leadership Code Tribunal, whose function is to adjudicate cases of breach of the Leadership Code of Conduct. The 5 members of the tribunal were sworn in by Your Excellency on the 24th of July 2020, and the tribunal has commenced its work. In a special way, sir, we've started with your efforts, sir. I want to thank you for answering my prayers, because I went to you several times. I came to you several times about at least increasing on the infrastructure development in NALI, but you are not tired of me. I want to thank you for listening to my docket and directing finance to avail the funding for the new structures. However, I request that NALI be turned into an international leadership institute where we can earn some dollars, or where we can spend the money that we are spending outside the country for training the cadres, and yet we have specialists, we have people who can train others in Uganda. 2, sir, I request that a hospital be built in NALI. And 3, that the Minister of Water avail a deep well which is solar powered for the continuous watering of our beautiful gardens. So we have beautiful gardens behind here. The Director NALI said that he doesn't want us to interfere with his water for the dormitories. So that is why I'm requesting for the deep well that is solar powered to continue watering more. Your Excellency, with the above synopsis into the achievements of presidents, once again, I wish to thank you for finding time to commission this infrastructure development project at NALI. And now, I'm honored to invite you to address us and the nation and later commissioned the new structures and later launched the Apex platform. I want to thank you.
Generals of the army, the religious leaders, and other members of the engineering brigade, and other invited guests. The Bible says, "Let your light so shine before men that they see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven." Which means it is more important to influence people by making them see, so that they know that whatever you are doing is correct. I'm glad. I want to congratulate the Minister of the Presidency for putting her foot down in the matter of selecting the Engineers Brigade to do the work here rather than private contractors. That was a good decision, and I congratulate you. This wastage, which has been going on in the government, where the corrupt people, especially for government institutions, for ministries, schools, using private contractors is really a big wastage, especially the type of private contractors we have here. These private contractors are people who don't have their own money. Therefore, when you give them a job, they go and borrow from commercial banks. And the commercial bank is charging 24% per interest. Then the private company, yes, wants to make a profit of 20%. That's 44%. Then, because it's a private company, it must pay VAT, which is 18%. That is now 62%. Then, many of the private so-called contractors, they don't have their own transport. They must hire vehicles to carry the materials. That's another 10%, 72% now. Then I hear that they don't buy materials from the factory. They buy from middlemen. That may add another 10%. So therefore, for government departments, when we don't use direct labor like here, maybe as much as 80% of the money has nothing to do with building. You are just feeding private companies. So it's really criminal. I've told this to the army people. Now I'm glad that the Honorable Mbayo took it up for NALI. In the presentation by Brigadier General Chomukama, he should have shown what it would have cost if we had used private contractors. Because here you can calculate how many square feet you have built up, and now you say you have spent about 7 billion for so many square feet. What would it have been if you had used the private contractors? How much would it have been? We should compare it and bring it out so that we fight this parasitism, because this is real parasitism by people in charge who just squander resources of the people with private companies with which they are linked to, instead of providing solutions to people's problems. The schools, when I studied at Ntare, it was one of the first fully government schools during the colonial period. Schools like Ntare, Teso College, Alowet, Samuel Baker were the first fully government schools. The other schools had been missionary, they were not clear. They had come through different channels. Budo, Chisubi, those started with the churches. But the government schools, the first ones were those, Ntare, Teso College, Alowet, Samuel Baker. And later on they added others like Lango College and so on. Ntare was built by the Ministry of Works, those buildings which are still there were built by Ministry of Works, not by contractors. Certainly for Ntare it was built by Ministry of Works. I suspect even the other schools were built by the Ministry of Works. Now when we use the engineers brigade, they just spend money on the materials. The money is on the materials, on the cement, on the mitaimbwa. That's where you're spending the money. And later on, they could even put a smaller profit. Instead of putting 20%, they could put maybe like 10%. Because the private person is aiming at 20% profit. So even if the engineering brigade was to say, okay, on the materials and free labor which we have provided, we put 10%, it will still be much better. And it will build up the capacity of the engineers brigade. You actually don't have to have one construction company in the government. You can have engineers brigade. There's already a construction unit in Special Forces Command. They have been building dormitories there, I know. That can also develop. Then the government itself should have its own construction company, the Ministry of Works. Now, these Chinese companies you see here, building roads and so on, many of them started as government and army construction companies. All these Chinese companies, which are minting money from you pharaohs. They started as government, and some of them army construction companies. After doing all the work in China, when they had nothing new to build, when everything was built up, they went international. That's why they came here. Because they had done much of the work inside the country. So while I would not comment on the other aspects of the accountability of the minister, the AIDS Commission, the publishing company, those ones, because I need time to study what she was saying. But on this one, I came for NALI, I congratulate you. Now on the Bulgaria Chomkama's idea that they should charge something small to the people who come here. Let us study it. It's not a bad idea. The people who use the institution can pay something much smaller than what they would pay in hotels. So we shall study that. We shall study that. Now, finally, on the issue of the names, I totally approve the names proposed by Brigadier General Chomkama, because those are all historical African names. People who contributed to the freedom of Africa, America Cabral in Guinea-Bissau, Thomas Sankara, that was after independence, that one was in Burkina Faso, Herbert Chitepo for Zimbabwe, Agostinho Neto for Angola. The other one was Patrice Lumumba. Those are all great African names, and I'm very happy that, and I approve them. So, with these few words, I congratulate the Engineers Brigade. Bekunda, come and tell us what you have done.
Your Excellency, this project was entirely done by the UPDF Engineers Brigade at a cost of 1.2 million shillings per square meter. But if you change into per square foot, because 1 square meter is 10 square feet, that would be 120,000 shillings per square foot. If it was done by a private contractor, it would cost 1.9 million shillings per square meter.
That's 10 times, more than 10 times.
No, that's the 1.9 million per square meter. That's almost like 70% more. Mm-hmm. The Engineers Brigade capacity now has got 2,000 personnel, of which 135 have got degrees. Civil engineering, quantity surveying, architecture. We have got 420 diploma holders and 1,200 artisans. These people you are seeing here, this is a small group who are part of the group who have done this work. The rest did not come here, but I can assure you that with the capacity we have now, there is no need of hiring a Chinese or anybody. We have all the technical capacity, as you have seen, sir.
You know, the children of Israel were in slavery in Egypt for 400 years. And even when Moses liberated them, they did not know how to be free. They didn't know how to be free. That's why they spent 40 years in the, you can imagine, from Egypt to Israel. It's very near. But 40 years, what were they doing in the desert? Just going around. Going around. And they gave Moses a lot of trouble. Whenever they would get any problem, they say, you Moses, why did you get us from Egypt? We were eating pumpkins. So really what we are fighting against is a slave mentality. You can't build, the Chinese must build for you. You can't build a house. You can't construct a road. You can't. But now, your people are waking up. There's nothing they are not able to do. And I'm glad Wekunda and his group have woken up here. Mkurukeyo, okuva muturo, hongera kutoka kwenye usingizi, na kwenye utumwa. Your fellows are building vehicles. Very soon we shall not be importing cars and buses, because your fellows have woken up. So that's what really I wanted to celebrate most. So it is now my pleasure to launch my daughter Mbayo's book. I haven't read it, but for better or for worse, as we say in the Christian marriage, I launch it.
And I want to thank you for launching my book codenamed the Public Policy Executive Oversight Forum Apex platform. I want to thank you, sir.
Up next on UBC, brought to you by...
Keep the lights on. Use Airtel Money to pay for all your Yaka bills conveniently. Open the My Airtel app to buy Yaka units. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.